One thing I think the public is opening their eyes to are all these very strange, catastrophic health incidents that we don't remember seeing before. These athletes that are, falling down dead during games, these young people that are having these heart attacks. I mean, I'll be honest, David, even when recently, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, she comes down with cancer and she's like 40 something. And it's just, look, I have a scientific background and I try to catch myself from these anecdotes, but my reaction was, since when does this young, vibrant person come down with something like that? I just don't remember that in occurring. And again, anybody else will say, oh, you're coming to conclusions or no evidence, et cetera. But there's a point where so many of these incidents stacking up. We have people like, Ed Dowd and other people that kind of run these numbers and try to track this. But when will we ever know if these things are all mRNA related?
Well, what we do know already is that they are shot related. As hard as it was for him to publish it, Peter McCullough's publication a few weeks ago was actually quite good in terms of highlighting the post-injection mortality data, which was unambiguously the case. And what we do know, Brian, regardless of how we do the counting, we don't have to go into the kind of causal anecdote connection you just alluded to, where we have a problem with, do we see more people falling over dead on the field because we were watching more people on the field? We can make 1,000 arguments to how that could be an anomaly based on some other covariating factor. But what we can do with absolute certainty is look at the data that is in fact reported, whether it's on the VAERS or whether it is on the actual pandemic adverse event data. And what we do know is that by over tenfold, we have more deaths and more adverse events than we've had in the history of all previous interventions around vaccinations or immunoreactive agents that we put into the population. So setting aside the anecdote for a moment, the data already is screaming off the page. This thing was lethal. And we knew it was, by the way. We knew it was when they launched the thing. I mean, I was, as you know, in the beginning of 2020, long before there was even conversation about who would be getting these injections and how they would be delivered and whether it would be compulsory or all those things. You know that Kim and I were doing our Butterfly of the Week videos and we were warning people, stay away from these things. This is deadly. It's not maybe going to be problematic. It will be deadly. And we were laying down all those pieces of information because by 2018, Brian, we knew the pseudouridine thing. That was published science, which means that by including it into the shot, both Pfizer and Moderna willfully killed human beings. And I want to say that unambiguously. Now, they will argue that it was for a greater good. But here's the problem. That's actually a false statement too, because public health as a ethic says that the greater good has to have a salutary benefit somewhere down the road. For the greater good calculus to work, there has to be a cost-benefit analysis where the benefit clearly and compellingly outweighs the cost. But here's the problem in this one. And this is why the Ninth Circuit, which just recently ruled favorably on the LAUS Unified School District case that I and George Wentz and others were supporting with the Health Freedom Defense Fund. If you go back and you look at the arguments that were made with respect to the government's arguments and the state of California's arguments around public health, they keep saying that this was a vaccination that actually was supposed to at least limit or somehow suppress the transmission of a disease. But we knew that was never the case. None of the clinical trials were ever set up to do that. And so here's the problem. Well, with a cost-benefit analysis, all we have is cost. There is no benefit. Saying somebody didn't go to the hospital is saying that I don't have a monster in my closet. I wasn't going to go to the hospital anyhow. Saying I wasn't going to spend as much time in the hospital, which was the actual clinical trial endpoint, is ludicrous. I wasn't going to the hospital in the first place. So count me as not going to the hospital. And by the way, also not staying very long. Well, no kidding, because I didn't go to the hospital in the first place. They created a falsifiable context in which allegedly a benefit was hypothecating. And we see this time and time again. People say, oh, tens of thousands or millions of people were allegedly saved extreme cases of disease because they got the shot. That's absolute, excuse the French, bullshit. That cannot be true because the injection did nothing but tell the body, and let's be very clear on what it said. It was the instructions of a computer code created in a biologically synthesized form to tell your body to become a biological weapons manufacturing facility. You were making the bomb that was supposed to hit you. Nothing about that shot, not one thing about that shot was meant to trigger an immune response. The shot was to trigger the creation of a pathologic substance in your body, to which the hope, and remember, Brian, I'm saying this because that's all they had. The hope was, having made the pathogen, your body would be smart enough to figure out how to make the antidote for that pathogen. Nothing about this shot survives the test of public health. Nothing about this survives the test of any of the requirements that were meant for the requirements to meet the public health mandate. And as a result, like I said, the Ninth Circuit correctly said the Jacobson precedent from 1905, which was the smallpox injection mandates in Massachusetts, the Jacobson precedent in 1905 was wrongly applied because there was no public health benefit in this exercise whatsoever.
So Jim Rickards has just recorded a video that's not available to anyone in the public, and he's going to be talking about how this upcoming recession is going to be fast, it's going to be bloody, it's going to be nasty. But at the same time, he's going to show you how you can position yourself to profit from all of this chaos. Now, we've made this video only available to our viewers. Go to londonreal.tv/Jim. Watch that immediately. I can't say enough good things about Jim Rickards. He understands the global economic system better than any guest I've ever had on London Real. His predictions are almost uncannily true, and you can learn how to profit from his vision, from his expertise, and his understanding of economics. So go to londonreal.tv/Jim or click the link below. It's an excellent, excellent look on what's going to happen in the future and how you can position yourself to profit from that. Jim is one of the best in the business, one of my favorite guests on London Real, and he's very, very good at predicting the future and showing us all to profit from it. So click the link, and I hope you enjoy. The greedy bankers are about to do it again. In 2008, they crashed our financial system and nearly bankrupted the entire global economy. Then they received trillions of dollars in government bailouts. And after, they demanded fat bonuses paid for by you, the taxpayer.
It turns out the banks haven't just been screwing the American taxpayers, they're also screwing over their investors. Turns out the banking industry is the worst place you could put your money, despite enormous taxpayer bailouts.
Now the bankers are back to take away your financial freedom. They lie and tell you that cryptocurrency isn't safe. They try to make it illegal for you to choose how to invest your hard-earned money. They lie and say cryptocurrency is used by money launderers and criminals. But look at the record. It's the banks themselves that launder hundreds of billions of dollars every year to the biggest criminal operations in the world.
Leaked documents have revealed how some UK banks have helped criminals, money launderers and Russians under sanctions.
American authorities discovered that the Sinaloa cartel moved $881 million through HSBC accounts as bank officials turned a blind eye to the illegality.
The bankers lie and say cryptocurrency is not a real investment. Meanwhile, the smartest CEOs in the world are buying billions and billions of it. The truth is that banks lie about cryptocurrency because it makes them scared. The banks take $9 trillion per year of your hard-earned money, and they are worried that they will finally be exposed. They're scared because crypto means they can no longer control your money, which means they can no longer control you. They are scared because you might actually understand your money and intelligently decide what to do with it. Now is the time for us to come together, fight back, and take control. It's time to educate ourselves, our families, and our communities. Because financial education means financial freedom. We know that cryptocurrencies will help us build the new decentralized financial system of the future. A banking system that is of the people, by the people, and for the people. A banking system where access to finance is a fundamental human right. A banking system that is free and fair and welcomes all humans on this earth. The DeFi revolution is happening. We, the people, can no longer be fooled. We choose to take control of our finances. We choose to take control of our freedom. We choose to take control of our future. Join us, and let's take back our financial freedom forever.